What's good, everybody? It's your man Big Dom coming live and at you with another True Players podcast episode, hitting you with the in-your-face, unedited, straight, blunt talk about sports, finances, relationships, current events, and many other topics along the way. Check out my next episode. What's good, everybody? It's your man Big Dom coming live and at you with another True Players podcast episode with my brother JoeyG on the one and twos. We're about to recap Wrestlemania Night 1. This is the first episode of the recapping of WrestleMania. Then we're going to recap Night 2 on the next episode, which is going to be back-to-back days for the episodes. So I hope you guys get your seats ready, get your popcorn ready, and enjoy the excellent episode that we're about to deliver to you tonight. So JoeyG, introduce yourself to the people.
What's going on? This is your man JoeyG, host of Beer Convo and Family, co-host to True Players Podcast with your man Big Dom, and also co-host to other shows that I've been on.
All right, so let's get to it, bro. You know, WrestleMania 40, a lot of hoopla into this particular WrestleMania. We got The Rock making his return. You got a lot of things happening, but let's talk about Night 1, because the lineup for Night 1, I thought, as looking it over back and forth again, I thought it was a very other than the Rhea Ripley match,
Right.
and the the 6-man tag team match for the championship. Everyone else was until you got to The Rock, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. Everything else between those first two matches and that last tag team match for me was So, what was your thoughts before we get to each individual match?
Overall, the first night, as you said, the six man was good, and then we got to the end with Roman and Cody. Yeah, I felt the same way. Like I was like, you had a good opener, good finisher. The in between stuff is kind of like brushed over. Not to say it wasn't entertaining. But it wasn't It was something we've seen before, though. So it wasn't like It didn't stand out. Is basically what I'm trying to get to. It didn't stand out.
I'm gonna put it to you like this: before we get to each individual match, there was at least two matches. Two matches on Night 1 was just thrown together just to have certain wrestlers in WrestleMania. Just thrown together, no storyline, no nothing. Which, you know, as we will talk about Night 2, the story
made sense.
The story made sense because it came into the match. It went into the match. It continued during the match. All right. So let's get into it. Let's start with the first match: Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley. Becky Lynch earns her opportunity to take on Rhea Ripley for the World Heavyweight Championship in WrestleMania by winning the Elimination Chamber match. You know what I'm saying? Right. She came into this match with strep throat and a fever of over 100. What a courageous performance by Becky Lynch, despite the cold weather over there in Philly. It was like 50 degrees outside with winds.
Definitely.
But she definitely gave it a performance of a lifetime, especially on a WrestleMania scene. In which we did see Rhea retain the championship, which is not surprising. Rhea Ripley is that bitch right now, as far as World Championship. She is that bitch. Beauty, wrestling skills, everything. She is that bitch. You know what I'm saying? So what's your thoughts on that match, bro?
I love that match. I love the match. Rhea did her thing in that match. Um, the man Becky,
Mhm.
Becky Lynch, she did her thing too. Like I can't. It was an entertaining match all around. I wasn't disheartened by watching it. The ending, it was like it was predicted in the beginning. I predicted that, but it was fought.
Mhm.
She earned that.
Mhm.
It was, you know what I'm saying? She earned it.
Let's not forget Becky Lynch had opportunities to win that match, but the fact that she
She
was
did.
battling an illness and just the brute
Right.
force and relentless behavior by Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley dropped her. Did like how many riptides she did to Becky Lynch to put
That,
it out.
that was multiple. It was multiple, definitely.
Come off the top rope. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, God damn it, Rhea Ripley trying to break her in half.
Right.
And then we see Rhea Ripley coming out triumphant in this matchup, which
Right.
we both expected that to happen. Then we're not going to take that
We
belt off
did.
of Rhea Ripley for nothing.
No,
Not
not. I don't see them taking it off for a
for a
minute.
while.
Somebody has. Yeah. Now, I will say this: if you could get Jade, if you could get Jade up to par, then I could see Jade and her going at it.
Mm, mm.
I could see Jade and her
Let's
going
not
at it.
jump ahead.
That's a that would be a powerful
Let's not
match.
jump ahead. Let's jump ahead before we say I got a lot to say about Jada in her debut in WrestleMania. I have a lot to say about that. So we're gonna get into
Okay.
that a little bit later. But this was but this
Hmm.
match. I don't know if you agree with me or not. This match should have been closer to a main event.
Hmm.
Should have been like the last match.
Yes, definitely.
Because after that great match those two women had, you got to have something good to follow it up with, and that's where the six tag team matchup, ladder match for the tag team championship. That's where it fit in. Now, do I agree? We're gonna go on to the next match: Judgment Day versus DIY, The New Day, Awesome Truth, A-Town Down Under, and New Cash Republic. Six-pack ladder match. We're gonna get right into it because that was also a great tag team match. A lot of entertainment in that matchup. Good wrestling
Right.
skills, and let's
Devon Dudley. First, let's start with the referee.
no, 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 no.
The
Devon,
special.
who was the
The
ref? He was a guest referee for that match. I thought it was a regular referee.
was it? Oh, then I'm
We're
sorry.
getting
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
We're
I'm
getting
sorry.
ahead, bro.
I'm
Let's
skipping
let's
ahead.
let's
I'm
keep
skipping
let's
ahead.
keep it to night one. Night one. I
I'm
know
skipping
we know
ahead.
night. We both
Okay.
understand night two is much more exciting, much more.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
keep it
Right.
night one.
Right.
But
Right. It was. This is
just
ladders. Just
ladders,
ladders.
chairs, and a whole lot of R-Truth being a comedian throughout the match. I seen this
Right.
man go behind the ropes and reach his hand out for a tag. You didn't need to do that in this match. He out there reaching out for a tag.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that in itself was hilarious. R-Truth just makes everything funny. He makes it funny, but also he's a good wrestler. He's a good underrated wrestler. Let's be honest with
Right.
that. He's very underrated.
Not. Not to mention he pinned
Mm-hmm.
somebody in the ring
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
with his own pinfall count.
But check it out though. Awesome. True. I mean, A-Town Down first wins the SmackDown Championship by getting the SmackDown Championship belts off the hook in that match. As they're trying to
Right.
get back to get the other Raw Championship, I believe it was New Day that New Day or someone else or CMP Thomas CMP knocked them off the rope and they were out for the count. One of them fell on a ladder outside the ring, from inside the ring outside to outside of the ring,
Right.
and I was like, well, they're done.
Right.
They're not gonna do nothing. They did what they
Right.
were supposed to do to get their championship. They're gonna just lay down for the rest of the matchup. But a lot of crazy stuff crazy moves going on with Gargano, and Ciampa and the New Catch Republic. For me, those two teams, I didn't think they belonged. You could have definitely put in the Street Profits in there. Put the Street Profits in that
Right.
match. Give better teams, but I guess everyone has to get a shot in WrestleMania. I guess that's the
Well,
opportunity here.
you got to look at it like this. You could put them in the match. It's like like a coach on a regular team, whether it be football, basketball, baseball. We're gonna put that person in, see what he does during the time to be productive, just for optics. We're just watching to see what you do. We're gonna record it, see how the fans react off of that situation, and we're gonna come back to that later. If we get what we're looking for, then we may have a spot for you in the storyline down the down the timeline. But right now, we need to see what you're capable of doing and how well you interact with the other wrestlers that
Right.
are out there. That's what I've seen. That's what I get from that. Even though we don't like that because we want the ready to go. Like we want the ready meals. We want the big meals out
True.
there.
True. But now this is where I like the outcome of this tag team matchup. Like I said, A-Town Down Under, their tag team champions for SmackDown. You got R-Truth and The Miz becoming the World Tag Team Championship in Raw. A big accomplishment for R-Truth. He has never won a championship in the WWE, especially in WrestleMania. He didn't win, and he never won in
Right.
WrestleMania until WrestleMania happened. This WrestleMania, so we got to congratulate R-Truth and the Miz. I just hope keep the
Right.
titles on them to make them look legitimate as tag team champions. Don't just put the belts on them to take it away in about a month or 2 months later. Let's make this shit legitimate because I
Right.
think you got the WWE got something there with those two guys in the chat with having those
Right.
belts.
They and they both put their time in, so it's about that time for them to get their recognition. They put in the work, and I feel like both of them it's time for take them to the next
Mm-hmm.
that next tier. Take them to the next tier and give them the challenges. I really did like it. I like watching them receive the belts and everything like that. They actually during the match, I could have seen we could have watched uh, an injury happen of two wrestlers on the mat on the ladder if it wasn't for the Miz
Mm-hmm.
and our Truth intervening in the situation to quill that, then it could have gone horribly wrong. But they stepped in as the true
Mm-hmm.
professionals that they were. They avoided that accident and they
Mm-hmm.
got the belts after that, which I thought was really cool.
True. Now, as we'll see, I don't want to jump into night two. Judgment Day losing the tag team championship sets up something for somebody on that team who has the money in the bank. I felt that was very predictable for them to lose. But we were not going to go into night
Right.
two because night two, I tell you, brother, we could go.
But
We go. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Don't mean to cut you off, but when Becky, no, I mean Rhea Ripley had her interview after the match, they asked her how how'd she feel about them losing and everything like that, and all she said was
Mm-hmm.
everybody has their time. That's all she said, and she said it with a smile on her face, like she's predicting it.
All in all, it was a great
But go
match.
ahead.
Albeit it was a perfect second match after that great match of Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch. Because if you had a bad match right after
Right.
that great start, it would have set a different tone for WrestleMania, in my opinion.
Right. But it was good. The one thing I will say,
Mm-hmm.
I have to critique this when it comes to
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
ladders, the ladder matches, and it comes to we'll do ladder matches for now. When it comes to the ladder matches, it
Right.
has to be more organized. It has to be more organized. There's too. I know maybe you're doing it for the fans that
Mm-hmm.
are live in the audience to give them
Right.
something to look different to look at, but they have to figure out a way to get the people in the that are watching
Right.
on whatever they're watching it on with Peacock for us, I guess. If you're watching it on Peacock, you're not going to get those visuals. We have to focus on whatever's on the screen. We're not seeing what's going on behind the matches and the mats and stuff like that. So that part was lost on me. So in that, you lose that momentum, that draw to keep you locked in. And it, I don't know. To me, it's like you see two ladders in the middle of the ring, and then maybe you see two or three guys fighting in the ring, but it doesn't do anything for me. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't do anything for me. Maybe I'm looking more as from a editing point of view, as far as like being behind the camera. Maybe I'm looking for something more, but I feel they should work on that aspect a little bit more. And the storyline, just to incorporate that, to have more eye candy for people watching on screen.
Do you think the weather had anything to do with it? It was 50 degrees. They're basically are outside. They're not in an arena. They're in a football stadium with a tent covering them. How do you think the weather played into that at certain point stiffness?
My question is this, to add to that. The lighting that they have on a stage, it makes people sweat. How's it do as far as being around the ring and you're in the center of the ring? Does that help warm you just a little bit? Yes, you have the outside temperature, but in the middle of the ring, they have the lights. Those lights are hot. So does that take away a little bit? Because there were some wrestlers that were wrestling without shirts and barely covered and stuff like that. So I'm assuming that the lighting helped a little bit with that. Nobody was freezing after the match. You never seen that. You didn't see breath, like somebody's breath, as far as being cold. For us New Yorkers, I didn't see that. So I'm assuming that they may have had heating around the ring or something like that to help contest that. Yeah, the weather could play a key getting to the ring, around the ring possibly, but I don't feel like inside the ring, no. Because of the way it's structured on top. And maybe underneath, they could have had something heating the bottom of the mat.
Gotcha. That could be true.
Something thermal or whatever. So we don't know. Because you don't want to be slammed on cold steel. Whether it's real or not real, you don't want to be slammed on cold steel.
I'd say that much.
No springs and all of that. No,
definitely. But yo, let's get to the third match on the card. You got Rey Mysterio and Andrade versus Santos Escobar and Dirty Dom. Rey Mysterio faces his son again in WrestleMania, Dominic Mysterio.
Dirty Dom.
This match, the storyline, I thought personally, I thought they were going to pick Carlito to be Rey Mysterio's partner. They pick Dragon Lee, but he got jumped before the match, and then Andrade stepped in to take his place, which I thought they should have went with Andrade in the first place, because he's back in the WWE. He should be in WrestleMania. The top guys, I think Andrade is a top guy, in the sense of the guy who should be on a WrestleMania card. So I'm glad they got him and Mysterio on the same team. But facing Dirty Dom and Santos Escobar, I felt it was disappointing for me to watch that match. It was just too much of the LWO trying to get involved, too much of the other factions trying to get involved. It was too centric on that instead of just focusing on the match itself, in my opinion. Like I said, we go into it. Storytelling during a match. I think this has been a lost art in WWE for a very long time. The inability to tell a story during a match. Doesn't matter if the feud just started or been going on for a while. You still got to have an opportunity to tell a story.
Right.
Still got to have an opportunity to tell a story. And that match, I'm sorry to say it just didn't do it for me. A couple of high flying moves over the top rope. Rey Mysterio does his typical 619. Andrade did pull some moves in that matchup, which I really liked. But I guess the opponents that he was doing it towards, I guess, I wouldn't say they didn't sell it. It didn't make it, in my opinion, believable in that grand stage of things. So,
an experience. The inexperience of not having seen that before or practiced with, because when you get high flyers together, they put some things together, and it's nonstop. We love it. Look, go all the way back. Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, the Rockers, when they were on the Rockers, they did a lot of high flying moves. That wasn't lost. Like Shawn Michaels did that afterwards, and was the staple for people wrestling now, because we see a lot of his moves now, as especially with the high flying moves. Macho Man, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. You see a lot of little essence of that in the wrestlers now. Maybe they're paying homage to the old school wrestlers that they watched and they grew up with, or it's just a part of their repertoire.
Right.
As far as wrestlers now, I've always loved the high flying. Like, you have the luchadors. They incorporated that in the WWE, and I think it took it to another level. Especially when you had high flyers versus the luchadors. It was a good thing. It was a good thing in my opinion.
But all in all, Rey Mysterio, it was predictable. Rey Mysterio and Andrade won the match. Andrade's part of LWO, and we'll see what where that story is going to be taken to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We'll see where that story gets taken to. A lot of things is the aftermath. You got to worry about the match itself, and the aftermath of that match is going to lead to something bigger than what we had in WrestleMania.
Right.
Springboard to SummerSlam. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Dirty Dom getting beat up on the outside.
I'm not
of the
knocking
ring.
Dirty Dom. He's growing as a wrestler. He's growing.
He is. He's actually impressing me now to the point where I'm actually watching him more. Like before, I was like, I don't know, and I don't want it. I don't want it. But now it's like, okay, I can see essence of his father. I can see essence of Eddie Guerrero, which I really like. Like, right. I could see it. And to me, I'm like, okay, you're incorporating, you're trying to find yourself in that mixture, and I could see it.
I love too. I love how even though they're maintaining their character outside of in public, outside of closed doors of WWE, they maintain that character, acting as if they hate each other. But I've seen Rey Mysterio on interviews saying how proud of his son, how he's growing, and sometimes him being a heel, that's probably the trigger he needed to really show out and see what he can do. In my opinion,
right. They did the same thing with The Rock. That's how The Rock got started. Starting as a heel. So coming back in now with the whole bloodline thing as a heel. You start that way, you're going to finish that way.
And I felt they waited too long with Roman to do that.
Right. Because it was coming in, he was the good guy. Everybody's like, oh, the good guy. When he flipped, he turned on the switch and he became heel. That's when people were like, oh my God, what's he going to do next?
True that. So now let's get on to the next match. Bianca Belair, Naomi and Jade Cargill versus Damage Control. This match.
Right.
You thought it was a good match?
That was very good. I thought it was good for what it was.
I mean, it was thrown together, but I love the fact that it threw in three beautiful black sisters together in a match, and they won that match. I'm not saying three beautiful black sisters,
Right.
three gorgeous black women. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna disagree
But
with you
I
at all.
felt in that match, listen, Naomi,
Mhm.
Jade and Bianca was overmatched. They overmatched those three girls on the other side. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? The three of
Yeah,
them, mhm,
that's
yeah.
like a dream.
You,
That's like a dream team.
they all of them,
That's like a dream team.
all three of them girls was 5'6" or better. That's how tall they are. 5'6" or better.
Right.
I guess these little
Hmm.
short Japanese women. Come on, man. Was there
Right.
any chance of Damage Control beating them? Other than Dakota Kai, who's I think she's Australian, but it was there. And she was tall. She's a pretty tall girl. But was there any opportunity,
Right.
seriously, to beat Jade and Bianca and Naomi?
I can't say for Sky. I can't say for
No,
Sky.
Io Sky. No.
Io
Io Sky's
Sky.
the
I
world
can't say
champion. She's
that.
not in night one.
Um.
It was I forgot the other one's name. So she I call the other Kabuki warrior. You know, Asuka. Well, Asuka got the skills to take on a bigger woman.
Yeah.
She definitely got the skills to beat
Oscar
the
got
to.
the skill. Yes. She
Mhm.
has. She's had the championship belt
Yeah.
too, so she knows what she's doing in the ring.
Hmm.
Um. I felt like her and maybe somebody else could do that, but she herself a one on one, yeah, it's gonna be difficult. Not to say she's gonna
Hmm.
win, but it's not gonna be easy
Yes.
because she could take a
Yes.
beating,
The
but she can
martial arts
also give it.
background is really strong with her. And Dakota Kai is just she's
Right,
just there.
right.
She's an okay wrestler, but nothing exciting about her as a wrestler. To be honest with you,
Not
plus
yet,
she's coming off an
not
injury
yet,
too. So, but like I said,
not yet.
this was an
We
opportunity
have to wait
to
for that
have
one.
Jade Cargill her moment at WrestleMania, her first live event as a wrestler. She didn't start on SmackDown, have any matches on SmackDown. She went
Right,
right into Royal Rumble, and from Royal Rumble right to WrestleMania and wrestled. You know what I'm saying? We know what Bianca Belair could do
right,
on the grand stage. We know what Naomi could do on the grand stage, but we
right,
didn't know what Jade could do on the grand stage. And I felt, during that match, I think she needs more work. She needs more work. Despite the power,
okay.
despite the power display,
I'm not
and I
gonna
sensed a
disagree with that.
little competition between her and Bianca during that match. You know, Bianca's press slamming the little girl in the air, holding her in the air. There's been a lot of like, I could do it, you could do it too, type shit on the low, which in
Right,
essence is going to lead to a feud between the two of them. But if the WWE is
it is.
smart, you don't do it for next year. You do it 2 years later. You do it 2 years from now. Because the reason I'm saying this is because Jade
Right,
simply is not ready as a wrestler to reach that height of level of performance on the grand stage yet.
right. She
Mm-hmm.
needs to put in a little bit more work. Um, get
Mm-hmm.
acclimated and know who she's wrestling. I mean, you wrestle with them enough, and you start to pick up on
Mm-hmm.
how that flow. You have that flow with them, and putting in that work, you're gonna get better results than you have. Yeah, you're gonna put emphasis on
Mm-hmm.
there. You can use your strength and stuff like that, your signature moves, your little bit of charisma and stuff like that. You'll get
Mm-hmm.
more comfortable with the charisma part of it once you understand
Correct.
the people you're wrestling. You get all the extra stuff. We'll go back.
Mm-hmm.
Rocky, when he first came in,
Correct.
he had to go through that whole process.
Mm-hmm.
He was getting beat.
Mm-hmm.
You're coming in strong, like a Brock Lesnar, like a what's
Brock
the
Lesnar.
Beast, the other one.
You lost me there. Which one? I forgot.
Who's the other big dude that was in WWE?
Batista.
He does movies now.
Mm-hmm.
Batista. You're coming in like that. You're coming as a strong figure. What? Brock Lesnar was the immovable object. You're coming in pretty much like that. Your female version.
Right.
You still have to put the work in, though. Over time, we grew with Brock Lesnar. He was doing the same thing. Come in the room, put you on his shoulders, spin you around, throw him down, pin him. He's done.
Suplex City, it
wasn't
Suplex
really
City and shit like that.
Right. Or you have a Goldberg type. Come in, spear, match over.
But like I said, the thing is, the fans was pushing for her to make her debut. But it's cool like that. But you got to be smart. You got to make her look good too. And by throwing an unfinished product onto onto that stage, you could expose her. So it's just best to wait, get her up to par, so she'll be ready to take on the Rhea Ripley's, the Bianca Belairs. Right now, she's not ready for that yet. She's not ready for that.
Right. See, you went into it.
No, she's not ready for that type of big match yet. Because
no, she's not ready for that yet. She on paper it looks good. On paper it looks good. I'm not going to disagree with that, but as far as skills, technique,
no, bro, it's not even about the technique. She has some technique, but she has to be the timing has to be better. The timing, technicality.
Oh,
timing has
technicality
has to be better than what she is.
Yes.
It's like a step slow. It's Naomi's 2-3 steps ahead, of her, and Bianca's 2-3 steps of everybody. She's waiting for them. She has to wave them. Come on. Let's get the momentum going. She's waving. Come on, let's do this. And then, I think Bianca needs to stop doing that because I'm not saying you're showing off your opponent. You're showing that they're not moving at the speed that you want them to move to make everything look crisp. Speed, timing, and everything has to be on point. And some of these girls most of the girls are just, if you're not Becky Lynch, if you're not Bayley, you're not Charlotte Flair, if you're not Asuka, you're not in there. I was saying before, bro, when we talk about Jade, you gotta have her ready for that prime time. She's not on the level of Bianca Belair, like I said before, not on the level of Naomi, not on the level of Charlotte and Becky and Bayley. You know what I'm saying? So what does WWE have to do to get her on that plane? So when the next WrestleMania comes up, she's ready to rock and roll and be ready to challenge those other women in the WrestleMania match. It's very important. Granted, they won the match. Jay got her shine. She did a finisher. Got the pin. Know what I'm saying? She did what she did what she was supposed to do. Got the pin, got her shine on her first WrestleMania, and that's it. You call it a day. But it was a good debut by the end of the day. You know
it was.
We're not gonna knock her any more than we have to. Can't take away from that. So let's get to Sami Zayn and Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. This is where WrestleMania. This is where WrestleMania was going down a little bit, and the trajectory went a little bit up.
Gonna be honest with you. Wasn't my favorite match.
It wasn't.
I wasn't engaged in it. I wasn't. When I'll look at it like this. You have two strong individuals clashing. It'd be like a clash of the Titans, I guess you could say. But not them two. I wasn't interested. I wasn't. Like they both have good, strong characters. I like their character development and everything like
Mhm.
that, but I'm not. No.
The story wasn't long enough.
Yeah.
The build-up wasn't long enough.
No.
You need 6 months. For
Right.
WrestleMania, you need 6 months to a year build-up.
I was like, oh, we hate each other, but why?
But I think we skipped the match, bro. Did we talk about the Uso brothers? The Usos?
No, Usos we were supposed to talk about.
Yeah. We skipped to the Jade. I got so happy about the three gorgeous black women. I skipped them. But that in itself, the Usos, this was a story that was building since last WrestleMania. Since they broke up as a team, they lost the tag team championships.
Right.
They went through that whole issue with Roman Reigns, who was leaving the bloodline, who was not leaving the bloodline. We both thought both of them was going to leave the bloodline. Jey Uso has the opportunity to win a championship. A masked man comes in and pulls him out, and boom, it was Jimmy Uso that pulled him out. The story was there, but the match, other than seeing Lil Wayne leading Jey Uso down the aisle,
which wasn't good for me either.
It was not a good match. Not a match that I thought. Not the match that I thought we were going to see. I thought we were going to see a very great match between the two of the brothers.
Let me say this to start.
Mm-hmm.
Lil Wayne coming down to lead
Mm-hmm.
the wrestler down to the mat. It was okay. I was glad to see him in the capacity of WrestleMania. That was cool. But the song you chose to sing for WrestleMania,
a million, that didn't fit.
It did not fit.
It didn't fit. It didn't fit.
Have I thought maybe we had a song for that. Right.
It just did not fit.
It didn't fit. And I was trying to figure out why they had that song. They obviously didn't rehearse.
No, not at all.
Because he sounded out of place.
Mm-hmm.
He looked in place, but he sounded out of place.
I think part of it was he was out of place. Yes, part of it was he was just so hyped to be at WrestleMania. He didn't know what to do with himself.
Snoop
didn't know what to do with himself. But Snoop been at a WrestleMania. This is Snoop Dogg, man.
Snoop is a host, regardless. Yeah. He's gonna fall in the character. So he did his thing in WrestleMania, regardless.
We're gonna talk about him at night 2, yo. We'll talk about him at night 2, all right? Hold on.
But
let's talk about night 2. Night 2 for Snoop Dogg. We're gonna give him a chair. Night 2. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we wait for Snoop Dogg on that end. But yeah, like I said, that match was very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. It didn't give me what I expected.
We're supposed to have closure.
You're supposed to get that closure. Because their father, Rikishi, was a hell of a performer.
Right.
He came, whether he was a head shrinker,
right?
You know, too cool.
Mm-hmm.
When that man was when that man saw the bright lights, he stepped up his game, and I felt you're trading super kicks to each other. Come on, give me another super kick. Give me another super kick. I was like, no. How about some wrestling?
Right.
How about some fisticuffs? How about some Samoan drops on tables and shit?
Right.
That's what I was expecting.
That was none of that. That was the backyard wrestling from when you were little.
Yeah.
I mean, it was cool for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
But we've seen that before.
We've seen that. We've definitely seen that before.
We've seen that before.
We don't want to see that again. We expecting
for that. You might as well had a street brawl.
Mm-hmm.
Match.
It should have been tribal. It should have been tribal rules.
Right. Tribal. That should have been a tribal rules match.
Yeah. Who do you blame for that? The booker or the storylines, or who's to blame for that? Because I felt that match is totally out of place.
You can't blame the wrestlers.
No.
Can't blame. So I'm gonna have to go with whoever wrote that. I don't agree with that part.
It should have been tribal combat.
It should have been tribal combat for them to settle it. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the winner of that would have to face the cousin
Mm-hmm. Solo. No, you can leave. You can leave the match. But I felt the match should have been tribal combat with Solo coming in to interfere in that match.
Right.
And
Or
then you bring
making a
Rikishi
part
to
of
come
it.
in. You
Right.
bring Rikishi to bring some level of balance to it. That just it was just done to 1-on-1. It was like
Right.
not what the fans was looking for.
No, not. It was a miss for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was a miss for me. I was expecting more.
Yeah. So now, as we start to wrap up this podcast on night one, you know, the main event of
Right.
night one,
Okay.
The Rock, Roman Reigns versus Cody and Seth freaking Rollins. Which the main event was everything it needed to be.
Yes.
Everything it needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock makes his return since WrestleMania 29 since he lost to John Cena for the World Heavyweight Championship. People forget that.
Can't see me.
Rock did look a little rusty in the beginning, looked stiff a little early. He didn't do his assortment of moves. He still did his spine buster, people's elbow, and the rock bottom. But his ass also got rock bottom too onto a table by Cody.
Right.
Which I thought, that was very predictable. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, everyone was doing each other's finishing moves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Seth Rollins did a hell of a job. I think Seth Rollins is when the lights is bright, you see the truth of Seth Rollins.
Yes.
But he was also hurt during that match too. The knee caught up with him. The knee injury caught up with him. The Rock and Roman was working on that knee. You know what I'm saying? I like how the match started. We talk about storytelling.
Yeah.
Who starts the match? Who starts that tag team match to start it off? The former Shield members, the Brothers in Arms, the Hounds of Justice, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns.
Right.
Roman Reigns' brother
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning of this.
Right.
Now, it's not blood. That's his brother too.
Right.
The way it's supposed to start.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that build up. I liked everything they did. And then you got to bring in The Rock to take on Seth Rollins and Cody. And like I said, Rock didn't do his assortment of moves, man. I was looking for a tornado DDT or some shit. I was looking for a nip up. I understand Rock is over 50 years old now. He can't do the same thing like he did 10 years ago, or
Right.
even when he was younger.
Mm-hmm.
But once he got the grip of the match, the rhythm of the match, it was like riding a bicycle. He was back into it. One part of the match is I saw, Rock was up to his old tricks as far as selling. Roman meant to spear. Was it Seth or Cody? My memory doesn't serve me right.
I don't know.
Well, he's supposed to. I believe it's Cody. Cody sidesteps the spear. It hits
Okay.
Rock with the spear, and Rock sold that spear.
Mm-hmm.
He was screaming, his mouth wide open and shit. There was a story of that match. He pulls out the belt, said, "This for Mama Rhodes." Got the belt with Mama Rhodes' name on that shit. This, that, and the other. But I felt during that storyline, you could tell Rock was just doing a performance, and I felt certain fans were taking that shit personally. I think Cody took it a little bit personal.
Right.
I think his family took it a little personal,
Mm-hmm.
which is shocking because they're in the business. They know about building a story.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I felt they took a little bit personal about the storyline.
They can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, How do we feel about Eddie Guerrero's wife after the fact coming to WWE?
Still his wife.
I'm saying
I don't have no hate
when
towards Victoria.
excuse me.
I mean, she had a role. She played her role
She played a role.
in
What I'm saying, but the fans.
mm-hmm,
I'm talking about from the fans' point of view. We're talking about what the fans feel. That
mm-hmm,
that was a feel.
mm-hmm.
What the fuck are you?
Yeah.
That type of feel. So getting back to Mama Rose, yes, and the Rose family, they probably felt a certain type of way.
Mm-hmm.
But end of the day, you know this is about the story.
Yeah.
End of the day, everybody's getting paid off of that.
Everybody's getting paid. Everybody's getting paid.
Right.
People forget that Rock knew Cody since he was a young boy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not, he knew Dustin, Goldust, for a very long time as well.
Right.
These guys they're connected. They're practically family themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just felt that, it took a little personal. But
And you got to say that Rock has probably seen matches with Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
Because Rocky Johnson, back in the day.
Mm-hmm. But all in all, it sets up. It sets up. Rock ends up pinning Cody because he hit Cody with the belt on his back, and then he dropped him. He did his legendary spine buster, the rock bottom, and people's elbow, and let's call it a night.
Right.
The way it's supposed to be. I thought in that match, and during the story, you talk about building the story.
Right.
I think either Rock or Roman were going to turn on each other. I just had that sense.
I thought that was going to happen as well.
On the flip side, I thought Seth was going to turn on Cody.
Okay. I could see that. It didn't happen, but I could see it.
But the storyline, didn't the storyline open the door for that?
It did.
The build up, the whole storyline. And they came up with the storyline in a matter of freaking, 3 months?
It was October? This started in October?
No, it started in January. Well, the Cody and Roman started from last year.
Right.
When Rock came into the picture, it was like January or something like that.
Right. It's built.
It was after Royal Rumble. So February.
Right.
So 2 months came up with a great storyline. I guess the slap during the press conference for the Battle of Australia really set the tone or set it on fire. It sped it up increasingly. Right. But overall, this was a very good match, which led to now Cody facing Roman Reigns under Bloodline rules for night 2. And that, my friend, this is going to be the end of this podcast as far as talking about the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
I mean, not the Royal Rumble, as far as WrestleMania night 1.
Right.
But I'm gonna leave it like this, bro. I didn't like the fact that they threw matches together to fill both nights. The second night was perfect. There was nothing thrown together on the second night.
Right.
Everything fell into place. But the only match that really mattered in night 1 was Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch.
Right.
The 6-pack tag team match. I felt Gunther should have kept the title. He should have kept the title at WrestleMania. That's my opinion. I just hate the fact that he has a devil number. He had the devil number days of as Intercontinental Champion, and he kept it there. Let him go 667, and I feel better about him losing it on Raw. You know what I'm saying? And then you had the this disappointment of the Usos, which they had their build up. The match was not the greatest.
No.
I don't know whose fault it is. I honestly don't know who the fault it is.
I can't blame it on I can't play it. The participants, you can't blame it on them.
Because Jey Uso had a great match against Roman for that World Championship. A great match.
Right.
So it can't be on the performers. And then you had the great tag team match at the end with The Rock, Roman, and Cody and Seth, which left anything and everything open to the imagination.
Yeah.
As far as betrayals, shit like that.
Right.
And it didn't happen. Now, my question to you is, after all this,
Right.
to the fans out there who love wrestling the way me and JoeyG love wrestling,
Right.
wrestling has now become a must-see TV for me once again. Let me explain to you why it was not must-see TV for me. I believe was when Kofi Mania was running wild. Okay? They just had to deal with Fox, Channel 5, Fox in New York, to have SmackDown on that channel every Friday night. And to open the night, you have a black champion, Kofi Kingston, facing a part-timer in Brock Lesnar, in which he lost to him in 9 seconds. That's when I stopped watching. After I saw that, bro, I'll stop being interested at all. My interest level in WWE was 25%. It went down immensely. How you build up? He had the perfect storyline. The build up for him to beat Daniel Bryan,
Right.
and then to have him lose the belt a month or 2 months later in 9 seconds. Nah, I can't rock with that. And and to be honest with you, bro, we're gonna talk about it night two. But that does concern me with a certain winner in night two.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
on that note, Gunther losing the Intercontinental Championship, does it set him up to win eventually challenge for the World Championship? These are for the fans. These are for the fans. And you guys, if you guys want to answer me, you can send me answers to truplayazpodcast@gmail.com. So we can do a follow-up episode on your answers. My second question for this podcast to end it all: who will be Rhea's next opponent for a championship? Who's going to be next in line? That's going to be interesting. Because I think Bianca is stuck down there in SmackDown with her beef with the Damage Control. She's stuck down there for a little bit with that storyline. That would be the logical opponent.
Right.
Jay's not ready for that. Do you go back to Liv Morgan for that slot now?
Right.
Again, fans, what do you think about that? And my last question, there's two more questions I do have. How do you guys feel about the tag team championships no longer unified? Now, both shows got their own World Tag Team champions now. Has it been that way in over, I believe, 2 or 3 years? But I do believe in both brands, you have exciting tag team champions there that you can build on.
Yeah.
A-Town Down with Austin Theory. Austin Theory, I think is a guy you could build around too.
Right.
He has the charisma. But the Waller guy, I can see that. I can see them have a short reign.
Right.
But I'm of the believer of Austin Theory. Let's try to get him back to where I think they fucked him up. I think they screwed him up when they made him do the Money in the Bank cash in for the U.S. Championship instead of the World Championship. That's probably the first time that ever happened.
Okay.
So I think they screwed him up on that way, probably because he was Vince's boy, Vince's little boy creation. But I feel good that he's back. He has a belt around him right now, but let's see what happens. You know what it is, bro? I would love to interview Triple H.
Okay.
I would love to interview Triple H on the podcast because I feel that a lot of guys fell off the cliff. They got their rise too fast. I don't know if it's to stick it to Vince McMahon. Some of them Vince McMahon put personal projects like Austin Theory. He has the charisma.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And finally, bro, I think we answered the question about this one, and I think we gave our opinion on this one. Is Jade Cargill ready?
Let's see what the fans have to say, though.
Fans, what you got to say? We gave you our opinion. What is your guys' opinion?
Yeah, what's your opinion on that?
So on that note, guys, I can't wait to bless you guys with Night 2 recap of WrestleMania.
Definitely.
We're gonna have fun with that one because me and JoeyG got a lot to say.
Mm-hmm.
Lot to say. I think that entire card was very good.
Had me waiting since 5 o'clock.
Yep. That entire card was great.
It was worth it, though.
Probably just one match I felt, just one match. But it wasn't as bad as the 3 matches that we spoke about today on this one. It wasn't as bad as that. I just felt that someone should never kept their belt. As if I'm giving away the next episode.
Right.
On that note, Joe, bro, final words.
Check out Talking Random-ish with Ricky Kane. Yours truly, co-host there. You can catch me on that podcast. You can catch me on the True Players podcast as your co-host. You could catch me on Beer Convo and Family. Because we're coming back as your host. And Big Dom as your co-host. And do this thing one more time the right way. Till then, we'll talk.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, it's like I said, it's a pleasure having you guys on the episode today. We're going to hit you guys with, I think, 2 episodes this week, possibly 3. We have to get the Pascal MD commentary of WrestleMania on both nights. That will possibly be a live episode, guys. So, can't wait to have that happen. Definitely going to have Matt from Jacobin Sports Show and the Strickland.com join us again to talk about basketball and some hockey. I'm gonna let him lead that hockey conversation. Hockey's not my thing.
I'm gonna challenge him to lead with the WrestleMania story from back in the day.
So I can't wait to have him back on the show. It's going to be a busy time. Lo and behold, guys, I know I made an announcement on Instagram Live about True Players Podcast episodes will be on 8 o'clock on Wednesday nights. That we're going to push it back to May for that. So because we got a lot of episodes to hit you guys with. Baseball season started. I haven't even spoke about the start of the baseball season yet. So on that note, it's man Big Dom, JoeyG, we're going to sign off on this podcast. See y'all on the next episode. We got you. Peace.